For the ones you care about most, you do anything.
I want to be a big astronaut.
I want to become a marine biologist.
I like world culture and science.
We had no idea what we were stepping into.
That it would consume as much time as it did, especially over the heavy lifting years.
We had no idea how many twists and turns laid ahead, what would be asked of us, what would be denied, and how close to disaster we would come. In my darkest times during this process, it wasn't just my kids. I felt that I had the responsibility for 600 families.
You know, life has its challenges. But that's the fight, that's the struggle that I think Montessori uniquely prepares our children for.
So we all just pitched in where we could because we believed in it. Because we saw in our children that they were changing, and we saw that these teachers were teaching them to be good human beings. How could we let that die? How could we not give that everything? So we did.
You're making a school? Don't you just send your kids to school? What do you mean you're making a school?
It was started by a group of parents with one of the local Montessori heads of school, right? Her name was Michelle Delaney. And Michelle and this group of parents, they came up with this idea of like, hey, let's do a charter school so we can bring Montessori to the public.
I just really felt strongly that it shouldn't cost money for children to get this kind of education. It should be free.
Those informal meetings and conversations started to take traction and realize that we could generate something that comes organically and grassroots.
You jump in and you're like, yeah, let's do it. And they're like, oh, wow, there's a lot to do, right? So one of the board members was the registrar, everybody was the janitor. I mean, it was like amazing that they got this thing launched in the first place.
This has been a battle and
sweat, tears, sleepless nights.
Passion. So we had 3 generations of Braswells here, from primary to middle school. It was real important for me to be able to get engaged and be involved and help to ensure that this education got to them and every other child that wanted the promise of child-centered education.
You know, we didn't know what the future was going to be, but we took the risk. And to see it really happen and to see the doors open, with the limited resources, we got to do so much.
We really are honoring the Montessori philosophy of follow the child and hands-on in everything that we do. There's also a curriculum of grace and courtesy that I feel is so incredibly important in our world right now.
We show each other love by respecting our differences.
It's really hands-on. I like a lot of hands-on things where you can control the way you learn. You can decide what you want to learn.
You can resolve things peacefully and your friends accept you for who you are.
When they have a disagreement, they go to the Peace Corner and they are given steps and they are given encouragement on how to resolve conflict at ages 7 and 8. And during this process of the past few years of being the board president, our main focus has been about finding a permanent home.
We were in a strip mall that we were very quickly outgrowing.
Since everybody was together all the time, it was very, very noisy and difficult to work.
We had a car line through the back of a shopping plaza. The classroom felt really loud and crowded in that we felt like it was just all crowded and packed and we didn't have any room to move around. Whenever you accidentally stepped on the plants near the businesses, they'd come out and give you a piece of their mind. Other than that, we tried to avoid the plants.
The lease is up at our current place. The landlord's already moved on and leased this out to someone else. We've got a hard date. We have to be ready, or else we're not gonna have a place to go. We're gonna have to call parents and tell kids, you don't have a school to come to today. And I don't think any of us could really stomach what that was gonna be like.
There were several board meetings, conference calls with builders, politicians, local officials, where time was running out.
Absolutely what was at stake was being able to have a place where we could actually call home, not just a place that was an institution.
We really were challenged with square footage, but the magic that was happening in the classrooms was outstanding. I'm an architect. I knew the challenges in front of us, and time was of the essence.
I don't know how we're gonna make this happen. I really don't know how we're gonna make this happen.
Wow, we need help. Who's our team? Who's gonna help us?
It's a matter of finding those partners who really believe in your mission. Building Hope is probably the best named organization that there is. When we were really needing funding for our school and trying to find a way to bring our dreams into reality, they stepped in. When the team from PNC Bank came out to learn about what we did, they saw in the students their commitment and their engagement in what they were doing, and they joined with Building Hope to help make these things happen.
At Building Hope, we create educational environments for quality charter schools. A Montessori school program, we try to create a Montessori type environment. So we try to be specific to the school programs. I would love the kids to get a great education so they can move on to college and further their careers. Simple. It's very simple. Education is the core to everything. Education is freedom. Without education, you don't have a shot.
It really starts with a board and community members who have a vision for where they want to grow. And then, our team comes in and just tries to push it along to make sure that vision can become real. You have to really figure out how to find a site that works for everybody, for the community and for the school.
The question would be, could we make it before we got kicked out of our other facility?
We were always up against the clock because the school had to move, and so we really needed to push, but at the same time we didn't want to push too hard in the wrong direction, because if we did, then it would have been a disaster.
It was difficult because every time we thought we had something, we'd have to change the student enrollment, we'd have to change the property size, the cost. We were looking for a yes from a town or a city, and so every single time we got a no from somebody, we had to go back to the drawing board.
We looked at so many properties that had challenges, properties that we could consider. We came up with scenarios, we sketched options.
I have not enough fingers and toes to tell you how many times I've been told you can't, or no, or that's impossible, when we were just asking for, we'd like a nice home for the students.
It was so incredibly frustrating.
No was frustrating, but no was also a challenge and a problem to be solved.
And so while we had the charter to be in Orange County, we had to find a local municipality that would embrace us, put their arms around us, and love us for who we are.
There are a lot of regulatory agencies, there's a lot of input from everybody and their brother about what goes where, and nobody wanted a school there. 1, we don't pay taxes. 2, there's going to be traffic because there's cars of people dropping their kids off. So those 2 things alone, we found thousands of places that were nixed.
At one point, we felt so desperate. We looked at a piece of property that had a major ditch running through the center of it. We came up with all kind of fantastical ideas of building a bridge, but when it came down to it, it was a piece of property that nobody else wanted.
And we kept getting this response that still kills me. I said, well, I've got 3-year-olds to, 8th grade. And he's like, okay, well, you need to be on the busiest possible highway. I'm like, wait, what?
And again, those no's just kept coming, and it just wasn't going to work out here and not there.
I felt so nervous. I had a pit in my stomach for months on end.
Actually, we had a place, it was like 4 acres, incredibly expensive, and we were going to be in the back of some retail that would constantly change. Drew, he's the vice president of real estate at Building Hope. I called him crying, I can't do this. I can't put us in the same situation that we're in, but worse, because it's going to cost way more. We're not going to have any nature. I don't want to do this. And he said, so don't. He's like, keep looking. It's out there.
And when it came down to it, it just was not what we wanted.
All the visions for what we had just felt like they were shrinking.
And people were like, you just got to stop. You got to stop, sign the contract, and just make it. Just this is all you're going to get.
We had our backs against the wall, and we had to give a yes or no decision. And that board meeting felt like it went on forever, because we all knew we didn't want to say yes, but we were all afraid of what would happen if we didn't say yes. After a lot of deliberation, we decided that we can't make a bad permanent decision. And that was a scary evening. I remember going home after that board meeting when we decided to say no to the one yes that we had. And I told my wife, it's not going to work out.
We had to take a leap of faith.
There was a team that really was struggling, I think, to really figure out what's the next move. How are we going to get past, this decision that we made?
Then there is no plan B. The lease is up. We have to get out. Where do we go?
There was a sign, and it had the same price as what we're paying for the 4 acres, and it said 18 acres. And I was like,
oh my God, this can really happen. We have this world of possibilities here.
To have a place to do that really is better than a strip mall.
I wasn't sure I believed it.
I love the land. This rectangular piece of 18 acres, half of it being wetlands that you can't build on, and trying to, work within the context of this community.
We heard that this innovation was looking at a property here in Ocoee, and there was a little bit of reluctance about approving another charter school.
The political process that you have to go through to get folks to say yes. Really, we need to make a video? That seems like overkill to me.
Okay.
We love our Montessori school where we can learn, innovate, and explore on our beautiful natural campus. Innovation Montessori Ocoee. We love our school!
And when they said this area, I grew up right here. I grew up 4 or 5 blocks down the street. And the area needed some kind of revitalization, something to give it heart.
So it was thrilling, it was exciting, it was invigorating.
A lot of times people don't realize that the construction is usually the easy part. It's getting to that construction, getting the financing in place, putting all the different players together, making sure they're all dancing at the right moves.
Welcome to the future home of Innovation Montessori Ocoee. We want to thank the mayor for being here, all the commissioners, and all of our friends and family and supporters. It has been a journey, and we are very excited to be here, and particularly excited about the shade of the trees. I just wanted to share a little quote from Maria Montessori herself. She said, "There must be provision for the child to have contact with nature, to understand and appreciate the order, the harmony, and the beauty in nature." These trees, they've survived droughts, They've survived deluges. And what that teaches us is that in our times of feast and famine, we can survive too. No matter what's happening, you can still have strength. They've sustained hurricane force winds, and that teaches us that we can bend so we don't break. It's also a really amazing teaching tool to stand up next to a tree who's been here for hundreds and hundreds of years through everything and know that it can be done.
Our mission for this particular site is to build an environmentally friendly and resourceful school. We have a lot of trees that are going to remain on site, which is very unique. We've done site design, planning, permitting for almost a year now, and now we're actually getting the actual fruits of the labor and starting to do the work.
Well, today's day one. Got demolition going on. Next step would be tree protection.
So on Tortoise Tuesday, we came and we relocated 3 gopher tortoises. These are a protected species, and we have an agreement where we were able to relocate these tortoises on our own land. So we had some families here, and they were able to witness us digging down, 5-10 feet down underneath the ground, and be able to take this tortoise and protect her and save her.
It's important just to have something lasting, and it's nice to have your handprint on it and mold it and have it be there longer than you are.
Just seeing it in its different phases. Yay, we're excited.
Any kind of project like this, you have to have amazing partners. And we really had to push to make sure that we were holding people accountable.
Designing and constructing a building takes a lot of people. It takes coordination between the school and Building Hope and the contractors and subcontractors and the architects in order to get this thing done. And on a daily basis, it's a give and take.
In Building Hope, it's not just the organization, it is the people. And every step along the way, it's a group of very dedicated professionals, and we've been really honored to work with them. Our Montessori school is a particular challenge. We needed nature, we needed larger classrooms, we needed a lot of things on the list that most would say we couldn't have because we were a charter school and weren't able to do it. But Building Hope said, let's see how we can make that happen.
I mean, there's a lot of risks, right? But we'll get through it.
So this is the first time I have been to the site since it's been under construction. And I am genuinely pleased about how much progress has been made over the last few months. It was a very fast track project. We started design essentially late December and got permitting sometime at the end of February. So in the last couple months, they've been able to accomplish quite a bit.
Oh man, now what?
The threat from the hurricane itself is now the real deal, and it's right here.
When a hurricane's coming your way on something that's this time sensitive, we could do nothing but worry.
I'm getting reports already of trees down, just like we told people would happen. A couple of days ago, I said, if we dropped the bomb and knocked the tree down on every block in town, would I have your attention? Would that matter to you? I'm afraid that's what's happening in a large part of the area. Trees are down, power's out.
When Hurricane Irma came through and just created a mess of the construction site, we were all worried about the impact to the timeline.
I looked at things going on, and I looked at the plans, and I looked at the state of the site and thought, wow, this has really got problems. What's our contingency plan? What are we gonna do now?
Come the first day of school, if I did not have a building that had all the required licensing and certification to put those 3- and 4-year-old children into, what was going to happen. Where were those children going to go? What were those families going to do? We had to make it happen. There were no ifs, ands, or buts. We had to be ready.
I felt the clock ticking away.
If it's worth it, it's worth fighting for.
The week that we were going to move, there was still issues around the building that were not finished. Things weren't ready. We made a lot of last-minute calls, made last-minute calls to parents, to families.
It was an incredible effort that if the key ingredient in all of that wasn't there, it wouldn't have happened. And that key ingredient is L-O-V-E, love.
What was accomplished was absolutely phenomenal, and it really was a miracle.
Take a look around real quickly. What you're going to see around you is a dream realized. This is an extraordinary day. I know that it's dreamers in our society that transform the world. That's what you're witnessing today, is a transformation.
Every great mind has to get its start somewhere, like Albert Einstein, Gandhi, and many other intellects. They were children once, who were taught to become strong thinkers, who would change our world in many positive ways. Yet it is not only the parents who make the school, it's us, the next generation. So in the near future, when new students grow up here, I want them to remember how the school started, small, until it blossomed into something beautiful.
Innovation Montessori Ocoee is a public Montessori charter school born from deep love and commitment. It's proof that dreams do come true.
It was just very touching. You know, I teared up when people started talking about the journey and how far we have come. A lot of families have put a lot of effort and time into making this a reality.
It feels amazing. It's wonderful. This place is beautiful. It's almost exactly what I pictured in my mind as an environment for children. There's a whole nature preserve. There's all kinds of outdoor spaces for the children to enjoy. The classrooms are designed with young children in mind.
Tears of joy, overwhelming, really. I mean, I get a little verklempt thinking about it.
The facility is everything that we were hoping from the earliest days that it could become, and to see that fulfilled in real life was jaw-dropping and just wonderful.
Well, my favorite thing about the school is the hard work and dedication that was put into making a beautiful, nature-filled campus.
Coming here, it was very different, but it was a good different.
When you walked in that first day and you watched the faces of all those kids when they came out of the car and they're like, oh, whoa!
It was extraordinary, seeing just the wonder in their eyes. They're so incredibly excited just to be with nature. And when the teachers came, and it just inspired them and lit that teaching flame of like why they want to be teachers in the first place.
For me, that journey for some of our students who had been with me in the strip plaza, to just see their eyes and their hearts lifted, it just swelled my soul.
When you see the children in the classroom and you see the connection they have with the teachers and the environment that they're in, it's worth every second of that commitment.
You know, we came out of a strip mall in Winter Garden, and we have this 18-acre campus. They have these huge classrooms. Every window looks outside. They can see nature outside. They're seeing daylight every single day.
One of the key missions of our school was not only to educate the children to be stewards of the environment, but to share that with the community. And we had people from outside of our school families come and experience this, and this is exactly what we wanted to do.
My instant reaction was just a breath of fresh air. I mean, unlike going to many of the schools that I visited all across the nation, you come here and you feel at peace. Rather than some schools, I literally have walked in and felt like I was visiting a prison. Here I actually say, I wish that I had had an experience like this when I was a kid. Solar is a central part of this. So as a child, for the rest of your life, that is the norm.
And we have a very special visitor. Does anyone know who our special visitor is? You may call out quietly. Who is it?
Miss Matisse.
You got it. And what's the name of your classroom?
Matisse.
What a coincidence. Mr. Matisse is visiting the Matisse classroom. How exciting.
Can you come here and draw that, follow the line of that unicorn? This school gives to those children an extraordinary gift, which is a key of knowledge. With that key, they can learn anything all their life, and they can adapt to change, and that is extraordinary.
I mean, I hear comments now from neighbors and people that they love it. It benefits the citizens, but mostly the kids, and the kids are going to have a new way of life that will show them ways to do things that are different varieties of what happens in schools, not just arithmetic and writing and all that. It's a whole opening of where they can learn and open their minds to what's going on.
They teach children critical thinking and to basically be independent. This approach to education challenges children and allows them to basically become free thinkers.
I dream about being a chef when I grow up. And I only know how to cook one thing so far, which is eggs.
One thing that we do here that's really special is that we do classes outside.
It's been amazing. It's a life-changing experience. Our daughter started here this year. It's her first year, and it's been so inspiring. It's really changed our family dynamic, and I've seen a big growth and change in our daughter.
I like to think of this hard work and dedication as the seed of the tree. And after time and effort, it turns into a giant oak. I'm just using that as an example. It could be any kind of tree.
This campus is that light on the hill for others to look at and see what is possible if you just put the effort in.
Just because it's difficult.
Just because it's difficult.
Just because it's difficult.
Doesn't mean it's impossible.
Doesn't mean it's impossible.
There are opportunities that you have to make a difference. There are opportunities that you have in your life, that we all have, to make an impact that's going to last beyond you and to really do what's right. we give. And in that giving, you're rewarded so much more than anything else you can do. This is what you do if you love. It's love in action.